Hello, and welcome to the RealRam fam. On my channel, I intend to provide you with a safe platform to discuss the intersections of your entire being, to be able to be comfortable in your own skin, in mission, or position. There is no one like you, and we all have a purpose and message. I, for one, am a black woman, mother of four, a military veteran, and a wife, and a social worker, just to name a few. From my channel, I hope that you learn more about military families and social workers. 3 of the social work values are my aim in each video: importance of human relationships, dignity and worth of the person, and social justice. No matter what you initially think when you hear social worker, there is more to the profession. Trust me. Stay locked in by subscribing to the channel, and be sure that you hit that notifications bell so you don't miss any new uploads. Without further ado, on to today's episode.
So what's going on? What's going on, Ram Fam? So today I got 2 special guests for you today. There's gonna be no history. I'm not gonna do history this time because I got 2 guests for you. We're gonna kick this off with military spouses this time to show appreciation. We're gonna coincide month of the military child with the new series that I told you all that I was gonna do with all of the military families. So today I have with me Mary and Candus, who also have their own podcast. Um, we have an Air Force House, and we have a Navy. So we're gonna bring on Mary and Candus. We're gonna kick this off. Tell me where you guys' hometown is, Mary and Candus. Candus, since you're not music, you go first. Where you call home?
All right, so Newport News, Virginia. That's what I call home. My husband jokes with me because my dad was Navy, and he's like, "You don't know where you're from." I'm like, "No, I know. I know where my important years were, and that's Newport News. So that's who made me basically. And that's also where I met Mary.
Okay.
Yep.
Mary,
Born and raised Newport News. I mean, Candace says Newport News. I say bad news, but it's all the same.
All right, so Virginia in the house. So we're gonna do my little warm up. Hopefully, she can share. We're gonna do my little warm icebreaker. So don't worry about any type of political correctness. Just answer the way you see fit. Right?
All right.
Okay. What is this?
Water.
And then say your name too, so we know who's saying it. Well, both of y'all from Virginia, so say it again. How you say it?
Water.
A water, yeah. 2. Hair.
Hair.
Here. Sneakers.
Oh.
Okay. 1 shoes, 1 sneakers.
It's a cart.
Yeah. First cart. Basket. Wallet. Purse.
Alley?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's an alley because it ain't the street. Don't go down there.
Right.
What's this? Entryways?
That was 1.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Y'all in agreement?
Yeah. It's a slushy.
Slushy. Oh, we used to call these icebergs.
Ice what?
Icebergs.
Okay.
I don't even know if we had I don't think I put a name to that.
Okay.
Boat.
Yep.
Oh, shoot. What is this?
White
Wife
beater.
beater.
All right. Okay. Okay. Good job. Good job. Good job. Okay. So, do both of you, do you have siblings? And if you do, what is your birth order?
Okay, so yeah, I have two sisters and a brother, but I was primarily raised with my sister, one of my sisters, and one of my brother. So I was a middle child of the family. So second born of the group that I was basically raised with. And we have an older sister who wasn't raised in the same house as us.
For me, if we go on biologically, I am the oldest. On my mom's side, it was me, and I have a younger sister. On my dad's side, it's me and two brothers.
So we're going middle and we're going old. Okay, I'm trying to get this because every time when I share it, it be all kind of ragged. Okay, so would you say, are you familiar with the qualities and characteristics that they say about each child?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Some of them, yeah.
A little bit. So I'm gonna share it with you just in case. Would you say that these qualities describe you very well? You fit in?
Some of them, but
not all of them.
Yeah, I don't think I'm that rebellious.
I'm not bossy.
Girl, she lying. And I'm social is a strong word. I wouldn't say I'm nice, but I'm not like a social
You're
butterfly.
definitely not social.
Yeah, I'm nice though. So it's I can talk to people. People talk to me, but when I think of social, I think of somebody that's out there like trying to have conversations.
All right. Well, mine fit me. So, mine fit me to the max, and my mother's only child, so it fits very well.
Okay.
So we are going to go ahead and get right into this. We're going to get right into this. So the first question that I have is, so it'll be clear for everyone, which one of you again is nope, I'm not going to say. Candus, what branch of service is your spouse in? And then Mary, what branch of service is your spouse in? And also, if you can tell us what is their rank or pay grade.
Okay. My husband is in the Air Force and he's an E6.
My husband is in the Navy and he just got commissioned as an officer.
Making him what?
01E.
How you feeling about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy for him. we were almost there. We were almost there, and so now just tax on some more, like another decade, because he's trying to go for 30 now instead of 20. So yeah.
I can understand that one. Okay. So, were either one of you connected to the military prior to meeting your spouse?
Yeah, I was. My dad is retired Navy, so I grew up as a military child, but at the same time, I had it kind of good. We didn't have to move around too much, and I think majority of the moving we did was when I was younger. But like once I started school, we didn't do a lot of hopping around or anything like that.
As for me, nope. When I married my husband, that was the first military experience. So.
And how did you imagine that your life would be prior to this military relation?
For me, honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't set expectations, and I didn't know what to expect. I just went in it with, all right, let's do this, and just been learning and growing from there.
So are you saying before we knew we were going to be military spouses, what did we think our life would be?
Yeah, either or. I mean, so since you are military brat, did you expect that you would marry someone in the military?
Not at all. It was literally on my list to not do, to avoid at all costs. When I met my husband, he was in college, and so we both had different goals and plans. And then, this was, a decision he made while in school. But and at that point, we were already together, so he kind of sucked at me already. But but yeah, no, I had no intentions of continuing on this life because I just knew it was something that I felt like it was something I didn't want to continue on, so.
Why not?
Well, when I was in 10th grade, matter of fact, so after me and Mary were going to the same high school, and I felt like I had finally got to a point where I was kind of coming into my own self. I'm sorry, coming into my own self, and I was excited about the new year. And my dad comes home and he's like, "Hey, just let y'all know, we're going to be going somewhere else. I got orders." And I'm like, "You got orders? Like, can we figure this out? Can we rearrange this somehow?" Because the fact of he was pretty much towards the end of his career, and I was like, I felt like there was maybe a way he could kind of work it out where he could stay. And so it kind of initially devastated me. I will say when I did move, I did enjoy my time there at the new location as well. But it was hard for me. It was an adjustment, and I like Val. Like, no, I'm not going to be part of that lifestyle going forward. I'm not going to put my kids through that. I just knew it wasn't for me.
So, yeah, he was already. Yep. Yep. I have to rework the way I had this written.
For my situation, I got pregnant with our second kid, and he decided that he was going to go into the military. So our family already knew. So after he got out of boot camp, that's when we got married, and we just joined him. So our family knew already.
Yeah, and for me, like I said, we had been dating for about a year. Yeah, I think it was about a year and some change. And I knew when he was trying to figure out what he was going to, what his next move was going to be, he kind of started talking to my dad and, hearing my dad's journey, and my dad kind of like, had a conversation with him, heart to heart with him. And I think that kind of led him to be like, let me see if this is something that, would interest me, if this is the way I want to go. So basically, by the time he joined, it was already everybody, like my side of the family knew. I think his mother took it hard because his side of the family is not like a lot of military experience, like immediate military experience like that. So I always joke because when he told her, he was going to join the Air Force, all she saw was war movies in her head. You know what I mean? And so I'm laughing because I'm like, it's not like that. I promise. Like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But I promise you, that's all she saw. So, like, I think she broke down the initial time he told her what he was doing. Because, in her head, that's not what she wanted for him. But
yeah. And I'm sure y'all told me that. I just missed it. Because I'm over here distracted. I'm sure y'all already told me. Y'all already told me that they joined later, so my apologies.
Okay. No,
what is the biggest impact that the military? No, I'm not going to ask you that one yet. See, those like later questions right there. You know what? There's nothing to it but to just, just jump it. Go ahead. So they joined later after you guys got married. How about how many places have you guys lived?
For me, not very many. My husband, he started out in Florida, but at another base at Eglin Air Force Base. Then we moved to Peterson Air Force Base, which is in Colorado. Then we ended up back in Florida, but we're at MacDill Air Force Base, so in the Tampa area. And he just got orders to Texas, so then we'll be moving out to El Paso. So that's really it. But I know there's other people who have moved around so much more than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider us moving a lot either. So he started out, he did school in South Carolina in Charleston, and then from there, our first actual duty station was here in Hawaii. Then we left Hawaii, we went to upstate New York, and then now we're back here in Hawaii. And now that he's commissioned as an officer, his new orders are in Virginia, which we will be following him next month.
Yeah, so that was the next question is, have you guys ever been separated? Have you ever, not been able to go on the same PCS with them?
Yeah, so we're currently, once my son graduates, we'll be officially ending our Geo Batch tour of 2.5 years. And it wasn't because we were on the orders to go. So once we came back out here to Hawaii in the middle of the pandemic, he was on subs at the time, and his subs did a change of home port to Guam. And he was able to look at the schedule in the future to realize that if we were to go to Guam with him, he would miss our oldest graduation. So it was smarter for us to stay here because at that time, my son was in the 10th grade, already established in high school. We were more familiar with Hawaii anyway. So he went to Guam, and we've been here ever since, me and the kids. So, yeah, it's been hard. It's been rough. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, but first of all, I just want to speak on her experience because I should have went first because, like, I say that because I just feel like so bad because there's a lot of times that they've had to deal with a lot of separation with him being on the subs and stuff like that. I mean, not to put her business out, she can speak for herself, but I'm just saying in general. For us, the separations, he's been on one deployment. That was earlier in his career. That was for 6 months. Other than training, so right now we are separated. He went ahead and went to Texas, and I'm letting the kids finish out the school year. Same thing as Mary. So like we don't interrupt or complicate the school year and stuff like that. It was just easier for us to wait till the summertime, and we'll be pretty much joining him as well, probably the end of June-ish.
You have had it, like.
let me go first.
Let me go back and ask one question for people who will be watching this later, which is kind of important. Actually, what are your husband's MOS and AFSC?
Oh my gosh! So
please don't ask those questions because I don't know.
Yeah, I was
kind of like the numbers and the letters and like just in plain English. Like what?
Well, so this is the thing. I've always, when I ask that question, he's told me he is a command post controller, right?
Okay.
And when I said that to people, they were like, "No, but what does he do?" And I'm like, I don't know. That's what he said. That's what it says. So, I give them the gist of what he does and stuff like that. But, yeah, without saying too much, he's in that field. I'll put it like that. So,
prior to him making officer, he was a chief. He's a nuclear reactor operator.
Okay.
Whatever. Yep.
So, it's okay. It's okay. So, look, now you can educate the people. What does that mean? Like, why don't you know? So, when they switch over to officer, do they now have a new job? Is it unknown?
I honestly didn't ask.
Well, typically, how I believe I have heard how it works in some branches. Sometimes when people cross over from enlisted to officers, sometimes they have like an open job. If they don't have like a guaranteed position, they sometimes just go in as open, and they may not have a specific job. They find out either once they complete training or once they get to their new duty station or whatever the case may be. So don't y'all be laughing at Mary because she don't know. Sometimes that's just how it is. But I don't know Navy like that. But I have been exposed to some people in other branches, and that's how it works. So.
As far as I know, like he's still doing his job as a nuke. He's still like a nuclear officer. He's a limited duty officer. But instead of, I guess, the more hands-on approach, he's now like overseeing like the department and stuff like that. So more just like instructing and counseling versus actually doing the stuff himself.
Sounds right. Sounds good. So I will say also, I know that it's tough being alone. So him going to Guam, is this for a short tour?
It was the last 2.5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that. So he has to do a long tour. So I haven't talked about this on my channel yet, folks. So I know y'all don't really know what that is. But I have talked about it, but briefly. Do you want to educate the people on what a short tour versus a long tour is? It was so long ago when I did it.
I don't know. I guess because every branch is different. To me, it wasn't like a short. We didn't categorize it as a short tour or a long tour. We just categorized it as a geobatch tour, meaning I know like in that general sense is anytime somebody does a geobatch, the length can range from whether it be in 12 months to 3 years or even more. It just all depends on the situation and what is required of the service member.
I take it he hadn't done one of those yet. So it was just 59. Okay. Lord bless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So which is equivalent to for Air Force is short tour versus a long tour. A short tour for us is 6 months to a year, and then a long tour would be 2 years, maybe like 18 months to 2 years. And majority of the time, what people tend to do, especially single people, they will quickly volunteer to go to like Korea or Japan, get their little short tour out the way, and they be trying to get their ribbon. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah. So you're almost done with that time, and you're getting ready to join your husband in Virginia.
Yes.
Okay. How are you been doing mentally and emotionally?
I have my days, but I also have like my I guess you can say my little village out here that's helped me and my church family get through it. Being apart, this is the longest we've been apart, but with him being gone, I hate for it to sound like this, but we're used to that because with him being on a fast tack sub, deployments are 6+ months, and then when they're in port, they're still going in and out to sea, and that can range from like 2 weeks to 3 weeks. So it was always constant in and out, in and out. So we've used to him being gone. It's just actually physically being gone this long and not actually living together. It was different. But mentally, emotionally, now I'm better. It's still going to be a big adjustment as far as us coming back together as a family unit and we're pretty much really going to have to relearn a few things. And I'm going to have to learn to, not dictate everything because I'm so used to doing everything on my own and allow him to be the father and the husband and lead. So, yeah.
We're gonna come back to reunification. Write it down. We're gonna come back to reunification later. Would you say that for you that's been the hardest part? Like the question period is, what has been the hardest part about being a military spouse?
Yeah, I would say, given our military journey thus far, this geobatch tour has been the hardest.
What has been the hardest for you, Candace?
For me, it's been a career thing. Like I said, I haven't had to deal with as many like deployments or separations, obviously, as Mary. So that wasn't, when we have those moments, it's hard. But for me, it's literally been, I know when I went to school, I had an idea of what path I was trying to take, where I was trying to go, things I was trying to do. And, it kind of would suck at times because the field I'm in, I want to be in a certain location. And no, it's like, oh no, you're going across the country to Colorado, and trying to figure out where my space was alongside my husband. That was very hard for me. Like there was a lot of moments where I'm just like, yo, like when is it going to be my time, And so over the years I've been able to kind of still find ways to carve out my space, but that is definitely has been the hardest thing for me personally.
So where is your career field that is being thwarted by the PCS move?
Well, initially when I got out of school, I knew my intention was to get into television, but I wanted to be more on the production side. And so when I graduated from school, I moved to Atlanta because I was trying to get mixed into the crowd there. And like I said, obviously if you fall in love, you get married, and that sent us down to Eglin, which if you ever been down there, it's nothing. So I literally was trying to find any type of TV job. I mean, I would take a sales TV job to get in. It was like whatever, but it wasn't a lot of opportunity there at all. And then when we went out to Colorado, there was more opportunity there, but there was the issue of, okay, now at that point I had my daughter. So now not only again am I looking for a job, I have to have a job that's going to cover this daycare plus make it worthwhile for me, because a lot of, as like a lot of TV jobs starting out, you don't make a lot of money because there's plenty of people who will do those positions for less, all because they want to be in that field. So it's competitive, and then it's also not a great paying job as well. So depending on like some of the entry level positions. But yeah, I had my mindset was, oh, I want to go out to either LA or Atlanta, and I'm gonna go out there and try to make it big, like I said, on the producing side of things. But like I said, trying to learn how to carve out my own space is where I'm at now, instead of maybe following the path that I thought was going to be my path. I realized that now it's about making my own path and not trying to just follow what I thought things were going to be. It's like, okay, pick yourself up. How do you make it work now?
So yours is the separation. Yours is finding your career path. So what has been the best part of being a military spouse?
Maybe having kids and not having a bill after you have the kids.
So really a best part about it? I guess the experience, the places that, we could possibly go.
Man. No, sorry, we ain't no help.
The people want to know. The people want to know.
It's different for everybody though.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, in all seriousness, I do take pride in saying that, my husband's in the Air Force, and proud of, his decision to serve the country and his sacrifices. Like, there's some pride that comes along with that. But if you really at the best part, there's a few benefits that I say, oh, VA loans are nice. They're real nice. They're real nice. I'm not tripping.
If it's a difficult question, it's a difficult question because people are going to learn eventually, as we get to do these interviews, or as I do these interviews, and people get introduced to you guys' podcast, is the people are going to learn that it's all about the veterans. Like, people don't really give us and the family members as much credit and respect, and because I be feeling some type of way. And I heard, a few guests on you guys' show that talked about the difficulty of when the spouse gets out, whatever your sex is, but once the spouse gets out and you try to handle business, and they be like, I need the military member to call or whatever. I was just talking to my kids the other day about our son who needs an ID. And they're like, why can't you just do it, Mama? Why don't you just? Because I can. Your dad has to take you. Or I need a power of attorney.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it. So, hey, if the question is hard, the question is hard. It be like that.
Yeah.
I love trying to get my ID and be like, can I get a military discount?
Okay.
Yeah. I ask everywhere I go. And if they don't offer one, the first thing they want to do is apologize. Oh,
And I'm
I'm
like,
so sorry.
it's
No,
okay.
we don't give
okay.
And I'd be like, but y'all need to talk to y'all ministers and try to figure out how y'all can work
Humble
this
yourself.
out.
Humble yourself. But you know what, that man, I don't even want it.
No, I'm sorry. True story. One time I remember when I told you I was a military brat. So when I was in high school, I was in school with other military kids, right before I graduated. And I had a friend, we would go somewhere and she would always ask, do y'all get military discount? And when they would say no, she'd be like, what? My father over there fighting in Afghanistan and I can't get no discount? I said, girl, your daddy at home. And she'd be like, I don't care. They don't know that. I'm like, oh my goodness. Can't take you nowhere.
Right. That's right. Milk it, girl. Milk it. So, let's see. You know what? So, I'm, so I'm going to follow this one up for you, Candace. As, I don't know if maybe this is, as if this is difficult, but being that you said your husband has only had one deployment, and you guys have been, let's see, have been to 3 states. Have you had to deal with people saying something like, y'all ain't really been nowhere, that ain't much of a military experience, or, just making light of the fact that you've been lucky enough to not go anywhere and be like, see, that's why I told you, because your husband's in the chair force, or, just making light of you guys' experience, or, whatever, just not treating you like you are actually a military spouse because of that.
I would say not in like a serious way. I think there's been jokes because he has a lot of friends who are in different branches. So, they may jab and joke and stuff like that. If I'm really honest, a lot of people speak more from I don't want to use the term, I don't want to say like a jealous standpoint, but they'll be more like, dang, y'all been at one base for 8 years. Like, how in the world, they're more like shocked than like, dang, I wish that was us. And then like some of the bases that we've been to, they'll hear and they'll be like, oh, y'all been to some really good bases. Like, it doesn't sound like y'all had any, rough spots or anything. I'm like, no, we really haven't. But yeah, a lot of, if there are any jabs, it's usually coming from like friends just kind of talking smack. In terms of from the military spouse part of it, I would say no, only because
she don't have friends.
Yeah, I was about to say military. It's not a lot I'm not around a lot of military spouses, and the ones I am, surprisingly, are ones who came on late onto their like spouse's military career. So like they may be like only 3 years married, and their husband is about to retire or something. So they didn't really experience it fully, with him and stuff like that. So, yeah. So it's really it's really not too much. Plus, if they did, I would just be like, okay. Like, all right. I mean, that's how you feel,
And Mary, so being that y'all been in multiple places, and you said you had a village, is this village at the military base? Is it a mixture of at the base and your family? So what does your village look like?
This village that we've created this go around is more of actually just church family that are not even military affiliated. Honestly, previously when we were out here, the first time it was more of like a few of the spouses from my husband both that we just connect with, and we were always like over at each other's house during the deployments just to get by, to help it, go easier and stuff like that. But this go around, it was kind of different, but it was, I feel like, in a way it helped me become closer, me and my kids become closer, like spiritually, because of the bond and the family that we've created through our church.
So speaking of kids, have your spouses, Candace, you have kids?
Yes.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2. I have a boy and a girl.
And Mary, how many kids do you
I have 3. I have 2 boys and 1 girl.
Have your spouses been present for all of the births?
For me, yes.
No.
Is this due to deployment?
No.
Okay.
With my son, I had him when I was in high school. My daughter, my husband was actually in boot camp when I had her. He was able to call when I had her, which was nice. And then our youngest, we were actually on shore duty when we had him, and he was there for that birth.
How so you said boot camp, you have an inside knowledge. So you had your child when he was at boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
How long after your child was born was your husband able to unite with your child?
You said how long after?
Yeah, how long after? How old? How old was?
She was.
Sorry.
She was a month. She was a month old. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not too bad.
Mm-mm.
But see, I'm sorry, just for a split second. That's one thing that I give Mary. Like, she's so humble about certain things, because when you just asked that question, the first thing she said was, "Oh yes, when I had my daughter, he was at boot camp and he was able to call. That was nice." You know, like, and I'm not joking. Like that, like the appreciation, obviously, because of the experience, right, of being like, oh, that was something. Where meanwhile, you can have people who could be like just completely distraught that their spouse was not able to be there to be, during that time and everything like that. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, because I want Mary to tell her story about her husband getting to meet his daughter.
Yeah, so that's next. So just go right on ahead. Go right on ahead into that. Tell us about it. Make sure you add some details and some flavor and some emotion.
Well, actually, we missed his graduation from boot camp because our flight got delayed. So we got there like after everything was over with, and he was just waiting on us. And so immediately, like when we pulled up, he was on the corner, and I left her in the car. I ran out to go get my man, right? Hug him. Oh, he was happy. Okay, where my baby at?
Right.
Wait a minute. Hey, I'm here. So, but he got her out of the car, and he just immediately just started bawling tears. So it was a nice moment, beautiful moment, and she got him wrapped around his fingers, like she's full on daddy's girl. She gets everything. I mean, she's the only girl. She's the middle child.
The best.
And so I'm recalling what boot camp was like for me. So you're gonna have to add in some details and show and tell me what that's like, because my basic training and graduation, there's no standing at the corner, there's no car pulling up, like there's like no, we right there on the flight line or wherever the heck we were. We're in formation.
Until somebody tap you out, right? Yeah. And that's
to a car. I don't.
Literally, when I see the videos now today, I'm like, wait, we didn't even do that. But I guess because we were so late, that's how late we were. Like, he was still in uniform, but everything, like everybody by then, I guess it was like all the parents, all the family was already done. I can't remember if somebody actually tapped him out just so he could. But when we got there, like, we didn't even go onto the field or where the graduation ceremony setup was anything. We literally, he was on the corner. He had his phone. We was able to contact him like, hey, we're coming. And he was right there waiting. Yeah. I didn't get that full on boot camp graduation experience.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just, is it all? I don't remember, because I just remember all of that, and we went back upstairs, and yeah, I don't remember. So who all is we that was at the car? You, the baby.
So me, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, his niece, and our oldest.
Okay. What else you want her to add, Candace? What she missing?
Oh no, she can.
What did she not say?
It ain't much to say about it.
Okay, so yeah, that's the only birthday that he missed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so through your in Guam. Okay, so now this brings us to you being used to him not being home. Same with my situation. I'm used to my husband being in and out, like the same as you said, 2 weeks here, 3 weeks, 1 month, but like whatever. I'm just used to it. So what is your your continuous reunification process look like? You mentioned you got to learn to just kind of like let him come home and be dad. Like, just tell us what that looks like. You can say like what it looks like when he's gone for 2 weeks versus when he's gone for 6 months. Just on average, like what does that look like?
I guess kind of say it's kind of same. The process is kind of same, and just like usually like that first day, it's more so like pretty much giving space to just let him figure things out. Because sometimes you need that moment to like just sit and be back home. Especially like from deployments and stuff. Like now, throughout this geobatch tour, it's been kind of different. He just come right in and just like, I got it. Like, you go do whatever, and gladly. Kids, I'm invisible when your father's home, especially because like it's usually like his visit's only been maybe like 1 or 2 weeks throughout this geobatch tour. But yeah, just literally just taking a step back and then just reassuring like you got it, like we're so and just letting him know that we appreciate him, loving on him, but also like recognize the moments where it can be like overwhelming for him coming back, and just like, okay, kids, let's back up a little bit, let's give daddy his little space until he's able to come back, and join us.
And your deployment experience, how was that for you, Candace?
Oh, so when my husband deployed, we were out in Colorado, and I knew I wasn't staying out in Colorado by myself with my daughter. So I actually moved back towards the East Coast. I stayed with my mother-in-law while he was deployed, and weirdly, it actually helped. It helped because like being around his family helped because it kind of gave me a sense of him, if that makes sense. I don't know, but having that, because his family is really close, like literally the way they live is close. They're really tight and everything, and so with me, my daughter being there, it was a nice experience. And it was definitely like, it was certain times where I feel like, okay, the time is going, it's passing pretty, fast. But then there are certain times where I was just like, yo, hurry up, like come home. So when he came home, I know. So when he left, our daughter was 2, and so his biggest thing was he kept hearing people say, yeah, when I come home, my kid didn't recognize me because their child was like 1 or whatever, and so he did not want that. My husband did not want that he didn't want that to be his experience. The great thing is nowadays, obviously, you got FaceTime and you can talk all the time like that. So we made it an effort for her to see him, talk to him. She knows that's daddy. And so when we, picked him up from the airport, and like she literally just took off and ran to him. He said that warmed his heart so much, because the whole time he had this fear, is she going to act funny to me? Is she going to think, it's weird to see me and stuff like that? And so when she literally just almost like, that's my daddy. The way Mary left her baby was like, oh, that's my man. That's how my daughter did. She pushed me out the way and said, that's my daddy. So, that was a nice thing. So, yeah, so yeah, I was like I said, I'm not in a rush to have another one, but I know it's a possibility all the time. So, you know.
So I was mentioning about how I asked if people have ever like given you any slack for like not having to move a lot, but have either one of you ever had people ask you questions such as or make statements such as like I know y'all got money, y'all good, you got a big house, just anything dealing with, your finances or anything of that nature.
Yeah, I think that's an ongoing joke that I think a lot of military spouses talk about. It was like we always say, like, why does people think, military is over here just making all this big money or something like that? But yeah, so it's comments that get said here and there. Yes.
Yeah, I won't say not directly because they know better, but I have heard that, well, y'all, why you at, y'all should be struggling. Y'all in the military. Y'all got money. Y'all can do this. No, that's not the case.
And both of us have gone through phases of where, like me and Mary, have gone through phases where we weren't working. So we're solely dependent on, our spouse's income alone. And that's with us having children. So you're talking about supporting a whole family off of one person's income. So, it's definitely going to be some moments of struggle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys ever lived, let's see, that's a lot of places. Did you guys always live off base, on base? What was your living situation like?
You want me to go first?
Oh, no. Let me go first. So for us, so for us, pretty much, I'm going to skip his first base. But when we went out to Colorado, the mindset was, hey, we don't know anything about this area. Let's just go stay on base. And we figured it out for 1 year. And he was like, okay, we're going to buy a house off base. And that's what we ended up doing. So even when we moved here to MacDill, that was our plan. We're going to stay on base and then we're going to buy a house off base. But when we came here and moved to MacDill, we tried to get base housing. They were like, oh, it's like a 1.5 year wait. Like, you're not going to get housing. So you might as well start looking. And so we ended up going right into just purchasing a home. And that's where we've lived the 8 years we've been here. And now when we go to Texas, now we're right literally in the middle of trying to figure out what we're going to do because our plan is to just do the on base thing because we like to get to know the area, know where we want to be and, feel more comfortable making that decision. Because I personally feel like it helps or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We got to look at all our options. But I will say this real quick. I'm sorry. My husband, when it comes to him, he definitely prefers to be off base. I think he likes that idea of having the separation of, home and work. So if it's up to him, we'll always be off base.
For us, we not technically on base per se, but it is military housing. So it's like off post military housing. That's where we've been, like here in Hawaii. When we went to New York, because the base, upstate New York, because the base was so small, the biggest they had was like 3-bedroom, and we're a big family, so we needed more than that. So we actually bought a house in New York. So yeah.
So you guys are PPSing, and another benefit that we have is that they move us. Are you finding this or any of the other moves to be stressful, helpful? How is that going? How has it been, and how is it going now?
Sorry. Oh, for me, I think this is probably going to end up being the most stressful move, and it's only because of several factors. Number one, when we were in Colorado and we moved, we sold our house, and literally we had an offer within 2 hours. We had 3 offers within 2 hours of it being posted, right? So there was no issue with getting rid of that house pretty much. This time around, we're trying to rent it out. So there's a process, getting the house ready, prepped, then trying to find renters. So that alone is its own headache. Sorry. The second part of that is having school age kids. I've never had to deal with that transition of, like having them switch schools and seeing how that's going to be, not just from a standpoint, like the administrative standpoint of the papers and all that. I mean, like literally how they are also going to take that's change and how they're going to adapt. I don't really know what to expect and how that's going to play out. And also every other time we've moved, me and my husband have done it fully together. Whereas this time, like, he's already there. He's going to come back and, get us organized and we go back out there. But it's still, we're trying to figure stuff out while we're in 2 different locations, trying to support 2 households basically right now. So this is definitely more challenging than any other move we've experienced.
For me, I was, this move, not challenging, but emotionally, for my kids, especially, my oldest being that. So because Hawaii has pretty much, this is where we've pretty much been. My kids were fortunate to start school out here, and my oldest is graduating out here. So pretty much Hawaii is really all they know. And just having to leave, because, he's been dealing with if he could stay out here, but he's also taking a gap year and just trying to explain to him, we can't really support you right now if you don't have anything lined up. So him having to leave his friends and literally completely all of them have to start over, but him having to start over as an adult and figure that transition out is challenging for him, as well as my daughter who just started high school and her having to do it all over again in Virginia. I would say that's challenging for my kids in that part. For me, like the most stressful move would probably be when we moved from New York to back here to Hawaii, because it was right in the middle of the pandemic. We had to get waivers to come out here. We were like Candus, we had a house and we tried to figure that out, but because everything was locked down, there were no showings, so we didn't know what we were going to do as far as that. And then having to be on lockdown when we arrived here in Hawaii, that was crazy. But I think with all of the moves, the only other downside to that is when you have a pet and flying your pet, and the airlines not always having the availability to take your pet, and so that kind of put a damper on things, especially particularly where you're flying into or from, like the requirements that each state or whatever place you're leaving has.
Yeah, I can. You repeating about graduation, I can only imagine how much more stressful that is. Because here in DC, even, we can't move. I mean, we can, but it wouldn't be wise, because our son gets scholarships based off of a DC address. So I can only imagine, just trying to make decisions about college and, what to do next. That's even more complicated, because how do you apply and you don't even have, I'm sorry, that's probably adding to your stress, but I can only imagine how that is. So I send positive vibes, not stressful vibes. So I send positive vibes your way as you deal with this. You have an extra person that you can talk to, if you want to talk this out.
Thank you.
More things to think about and consider and maneuver through this. Yeah. So I got one graduating this year too, and already gone through it once already. So, but so many more questions I can ask, but I know you guys' time is short. You got to get to the kids. So, what message would you all like to send to any spouse that is watching this Be it no, I'm just leave it open like that. What message would you guys like to send to any spouse watching this?
Well, I definitely have to say this. Just in agreement with our podcast, our purpose, our message. The main thing is understanding that you are someone and you are your own person outside of your spouse. So you don't have to continuously live in their shadow and following your dreams, your purpose, your path, whatever it may be. Although it may the journey may look like it can be more hard with dealing with the military lifestyle, but understanding that if you know you're here and you're meant to accomplish certain things, push yourself to continue to do that and push for your dreams despite some of the things that may seem like big hurdles. So I think that's one of the things that me and Mary always just want to get out there, like just letting women know they need to feel empowered to get out there and keep pushing. Don't let age hold you back.
Yes.
Don't let your circumstance hold you back. Just keep pushing, because there's somebody out there counting on you to fulfill your purpose.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, and this may sound cliche, but your military spouse journey is what you make it at the end of the day. And like we preach about on our podcast all the time, like you are more than the military spouse. You are more than a mom. And you got to remember that identity that you had before you became all of that. And those dreams and goals that you had, those still exist. And you can still do it. It may take time and you may got to maneuver. Your path ain't going to be like what it was, but you can do it. And just believe that. Find your village, find your tribe, and shine, sis.
I know that's right.
That's right. So the last question. So we are sitting at you guys' house for breakfast. What are you all going to serve us? Is it going to be pancakes or is it going to be waffles?
I'm going to go with the chicken and waffles.
No? Okay. Chicken and waffles. Okay.
You know what's funny? I prefer waffles, but if I'm here, I would cook pancakes. I was gonna be honest. But it's weird, right? Because I would choose waffles. Like if I had a choice, I would choose waffles. But I'm gonna cook pancakes.
Well, look, what are you gonna switch it up for?
I don't even remember the last time I made a waffle. I can't even think of the last time, but I know I made pancakes this morning. So I cook pancakes all the time. I don't even cook for myself no more. It ain't even about me. It ain't about my wants and my needs.
What we just say? What did we just say? Can't be no hypocrite.
So that's why I was like, I will be cooking pancakes.
Okay. So there's no more questions, but I do want you guys to go on ahead and share you guys' social media, your podcast, your IG, and all that. And I'm still also going to put it in the description. Go ahead and share that for the folks.
I guess you wait on me because I'm the social media person. Okay. Y'all can find us on Instagram at shine_sis_podcast. And your streaming platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, whatever you listen to, at Shine Sis Podcast.
All right. So with that, again, if y'all know any other military spouses or any family member, it could be a parent, a child, sister, brother, whatever, who would like to share their story, send them my way. I know it's always space for veterans out here with the RealRam fam. And so with that, we out here.
I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I would like to thank my guests for joining me, or simply thank you for watching the pre-recorded episode. No matter what your birth order is, how you self-identify, and whether you like pancakes or waffles. If this is the first time you're hearing it today, I want you to know that you are loved. You were put here for a purpose that only you can fulfill. Until next time, take care of yourself. Be sure that you like and share the videos Subscribe to the channel and hit that notifications bell. This is RealRam out.